Hi guys, welcome back to the Casual Watch Review channel. In this week's episode, we're going to look at a respectable watch collection, but what if we only have a budget of $1,000? I'm joined by AB from Watch Collecting Strategy, and we're going to go through our 3 picks for an ideal 3-watch collection for less than $1,000. Thanks so much for joining me, AB.
Pleasure to have, man. I'm really honored that you have me on your channel.
So let me just dive into my picks. I had to have a Hamilton in my list. I think Hamilton offers one of the best value for money Swiss-made watches owned by the Swatch Group, and I went with the legendary Hamilton Khaki Field Watch, coming in at $278. This is a great all-round watch, a very wearable 38mm size. Would look good, nice unisex model, would look great with a t-shirt or also dressing it up with a shirt and tie. This is my pick for an everyday watch. Next category I wanted to cover was dive watch. I just love my Squall GMT watch. This one, unfortunately, is a bit out of budget at $799, but I wanted to go with another Squall watch. So I went in with the military dial. It's a Submariner homage with the military hands. It has that old radium look on the dial, which I think gives it a very good look. And at $570, you've got sapphire crystal on there, the ETA 28-24 movement regulated to the Ellabore standard, all stainless steel bracelet, a really good quality dive watch, and that was my pick for a dive watch category. Finally, in my list, I wanted to cover a dress watch, and with about $200 left, the dress watch that dominates the market for me at this price range had to be the Orient Bambino. It's a bit on the larger size for a dress watch, but overall a good quality watch. I really like what Orient are doing in general, but this Bambino, the version 4 with a blue dial at $125 is my pick for an affordable dress watch, and that completes my pick for a 3-watch collection at $1,000.
To be honest with you, my favorite is the Hamilton, especially that it has the ETA movement, a very reliable movement. Actually, I found from my watchmaker that he let me know that ETA is a lot more reliable than Sellita, and I always trust him, so that's a great everyday watch. The Squale, I believe your GMT, were you talking about your GMT watch or are you talking about the diver?
Yeah, so I went with this Squale. It does look very similar to a Rolex Submariner, but it has those military style sword hands on it and has that old radium look.
Personally, I love that watch, especially Rolex homage watches that have sword hands, because realistically, for you to get a 5517, I believe is the reference, you're going to be spending $50,000, $60,000. So I don't mind those kind of homage watches. And Squale does make really good dive watches. And the Orient Bambino is just a fantastic dress watch.
Well, those were my picks. I came in just less than $1,000. I'd love to hear what yours are.
So I'm going to be cheating a little bit because I went with pre-owned prices. So you're very specific with your price. I don't think I'm going to be that specific, but I'm going with somewhat pre-owned. And I don't really have anything specific because I was thinking about this, and realistically, I could have come up with a really good 3-watch collection under $1,000, but I wanted to come up with my honest, what I would actually add into my personal collection. So the first watch I went with is the Baltic Bicompax, one of my favorite chronographs that I've ever experienced from a micro brand. And I know a lot of people will think that it's a little bit overpriced because of the seagull movement. But in my opinion, the seagull movement is a really good movement. The only problem with the seagull movement is the quality control. Since the Venus 175, I believe, has sold the license to Seagull or to the manufacturers in China, some manufacturers that don't focus on quality control. But people like Baltic, they focus on quality control. That's why I think it's worth the somewhat $500 to $600 mark. That's why I love that watch. And the case finishing on that watch is absolutely phenomenal. So the second watch I went with is an everyday watch. Now, I know a lot of people love dive watches, but for me personally, I don't really need that much specs when it comes to an everyday watch. I just need it to be versatile, and I don't need it to be 300 meters or 200 meter water resistance. 50 meter water resistance is fine with me. And I need a decent amount of power reserve. So that's why I went with the Seiko SAR B033, with a 50-hour power reserve, a very decent size, and you could dress it up and dress it down if you want to. You can put a NATO on it, you can put the leather, whatever strap, it will go with it. And to be very honest, it's one of the best watches you can get for under $500 in my opinion. So I wasn't really calculating that much, but I assume I maybe have around $200 left. So I went with a quartz watch actually, which is the Frederic Constant Classic Quartz watch. Now, the reason why I went with a quartz watch is, to be honest, I was going to choose the Orient Bambino as well, but the 41 millimeter case just doesn't fit my wrist. So I went with the Frederic Constant Classic, but without the second hand, because without the second hand, I won't see that ticking, so it won't bother me. And it's a decent size at 39 millimeters. It fits me very well, and the dial is very clean. So those are my 3 watch collection.
I've spoke about Baltic on the channel before. I like what they're doing, especially with the case designs, as you mentioned.
Well, actually, I own 2 Baltics, the exact same watch, the bicompacts. I owned the blue gilt, and then I had to sell it to fund another watch. Then I owned the black one, and then I had to sell it to fund my my JLC. And then now I'm actually considering rebuying that the same black dial, because honestly, I'm obsessed with chronographs that are manually wind. So that's why I love that watch. It feels amazing. The aesthetics are really good. As I said, the case finishing is actually one of my favorites.
And that second one, quite honestly, you could have picked all Seiko for the less than $1,000 and had a very respectable and quality watch collection. So I'm glad you had one on your list.
I've actually owned the SARB 035, and that watch made me fall in love with Seiko, because I've never said this story before, but I actually got into a total car crash in 2016, and the car was completely totaled, but my Seiko, which was the SARB 035, didn't even have a scratch on it, which was actually very weird. But I actually started loving Seiko after that. So I had sold that watch, which I really regret right now. But then I bought the SARB 033, then sold it to fund another watch. It's always like that. But then I bought the SARB 033 again, and then sold it, and then bought the Alpinist, and then sold it, and then now I want to buy it back. So it was really, I honestly should have never sold it in the first place, but it's an amazing watch.
So guys, that was our pick for a perfect 3 watch collection, less than $1,000. Which was your favorite out of the ones that we picked? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Just wanted to say a big thanks to AB from Watch Collecting Strategy channel.
Thank you so much for having me on your channel. I really had a lot of fun, and I'm really honored that you have me here.
If you're interested in finding out more about AB's channel, I'll leave a link down below, or you can hit the eye icon up here to get to his latest video. As always, guys, I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time on the Casual Watch Review channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.